Hello everyone, welcome for this session. Probably this is the last session. This will be the last session of this lecture, and this is the fifth video I'm sharing with you on fiber to fabric. Okay. On last videos we have learned about the history of clothes. Okay, how does the different types of clothes we have started using. Okay, what are ancestors? What type of clothes are ancestors using? What are the fibers that we are using to make fabrics or clothes? Okay, so in last video we have gone through the life history of moth. Okay, silkworm, sericulture. Okay, the same point today we are going to continue, and maybe this video will be this chapter will be end in this video. Okay, so let's take a quick revision whatever we learned in the previous topics. First of all, we have gone through the introduction. Introduction means in that video we have gone through that how our ancestors started using the clothes. First of all, our ancestors used cotton clothes. Okay, so then they have started using the different synthetic fibers. Okay, which is made up of chemicals. Okay, but how it started, how it is began, when the human beings thought that we should use the clothes. Okay, see, when there was extreme cold, and too much heat, in that situation, human beings thought that there is something to protect his body. Okay, so previously, that human beings, whatever the food they want, they hunt the animals and eat the flesh. Okay, once what happened? After hunting that animal, they started keeping the skin on their body. So they understood that skin of that animal is protecting to their body by different types of calamities, such as the heat, cold, insect bites, dust. Okay, so all these things it is protecting. So they understood that there is something that we need to protect our body. So something means what? So they trying to they cover their body with leaves. They're trying to cover with their body with the animal skin. So slowly they understood that it's necessary. That point is that substance or that clothes is necessary for us. Okay. So they started using the clothes in this way. Okay. So at the place when the human beings start settling at one place, and they started farming different types of grains and all that. So they understood that there is something that they can draw the fibers from it, and that is the cotton. Okay. So human beings started farming or cultivating cotton plants, jute plants. So previously we have very limited clothes, but after the invention of cotton, after the discovery of cotton and jute plants, we have a variety of clothes, and that variety of clothes we have started using in our daily life. Okay, and there they started using the flowers and all that to give the different color, texture for it. So that was the beginning of clothes. Afterwards, we learned that we have two different types of fibers, that natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Natural fibers already the fibers that we obtain naturally or naturally occurring substances, that those were the natural fibers. Synthetic fibers are man-made fibers which is made in the factories with the help of chemicals. Natural fibers are divided into two different parts. Those were animal fibers and plant fibers. Plant fibers, cotton and jute. Okay, both in the previous videos I have explained cotton and jute, cultivation of cotton and jute. Afterwards, we have gone through the animal fibers. In animal fibers, we have gone through the rearing of sheep. How the wool we obtain? How do we obtain the wool from the hairs of animals, just like a sheep, goat, angora goat, camel. Okay, there are the different five stages I have told you: shearing, scoring, dyeing, sorting. Okay, straightening. These were the different ways through that we obtain the wool. Okay, afterwards we have gone through the very rare and very expensive fibers, that was the silk. Okay, so in that point we learned that how does the silk importance for us, how the silkworm produce the silk. Okay, so today in this lecture we are continuing this point only, how the silk is produced. Okay, thoroughly I explained in the last video, but in this video we are going to learn about three different points. First point is cocoon to silk, how cocoon turns into silk. Second, raining of silk. And finally, how and when did silk introduced? Okay, so let's move from the cocoon to silk. See, as I told you, there are two different industries. First industry related to silk, to grow the eggs and sell these eggs to farmers. And second one, from that eggs they will grow the caterpillar larva and obtain the silk from it. Okay. So when the farmers collect the eggs and sell to the another person who wants to obtain the silk from that, what they do? Eggs. First stage is eggs. Okay. See, here it is very necessary that to grow the eggs through caterpillar to cocoon. Okay, it is very important that they should get the perfect condition. If they don't have perfect condition, it is very difficult to get the cocoon or to survive the larva. Okay, so what they were doing, what they are doing? See, first of all they lay the eggs. So that eggs, when the farmer or when the person who is drawing the silk, he purchases the eggs from the farmer. Okay, so he keeps the eggs at a warm condition. Okay, warm condition and suitable condition. It is very necessary that the eggs should be kept in a warm and suitable condition. What happened? They were not getting the perfect condition. Okay, if that eggs are not getting the perfect condition, that eggs, the larva is unable to hatch from the eggs. That eggs will be destroyed. When the eggs will be destroyed, this chain will be break, and there is no production of silk. So first stage is very important. Whenever we keep the eggs, whenever we have the eggs, we should keep it as suitable. We should keep in a warm condition, and we should give him a suitable atmosphere to survive. Once they got this warm condition and suitable atmosphere, the larva hatches from it. Okay, and that larva kept in a bamboo tray. That larva kept in a bamboo tray. And what the farmers do? Farmers chop the mulberry leaves. Farmers chop mulberry leaves and they feed the larva with the mulberry leaves. Okay, they feed them. They give them as much as they eat. When he started eating, the larva started eating that mulberry leaves. Slowly, there is a chamber in that bamboo tray, and that larva enters in a bamboo chamber. Okay, there is a stage. After that stage, that larva stop eating the mulberry leaves. When it reaches at the particular stage, okay, at that stage, he stops completely eating this mulberry leaves. And when he starts eating that, and that is the beginning of silk. Okay, when he stopped eating that mulberry leaf. Okay, a thread which is made up of proteins, okay, which it releases from the mouth. Okay, what the larva do? Larvas firstly stopped eating that mulberry leaves and start releasing the thread which is made up of protein. And as told you in the last video, and that thread is as strong as steel thread. Okay, if you take the same size of two thread, first one is made up of silk, or we can say protein, that thread, and second one is steel. If you try to compare which is stronger, you find out that the thread which is made up of silk is stronger than the made up of steel. Okay, so what it does, it started spinning around it. So he started spinning, and he spins until that whole body would be covered by that thread. Once that whole body covered with the thread, he trapped himself into that, completely surrounding all that is covered by that thread. Once it is completely covered, he stops that. Okay. In this stage, after cocoon spins themselves to that thread. Okay. Farmer took that cocoons, okay, kept into the boiling water, throw into the boiling water, and that boiling water loosen that thread. So loose करता है. After that, the farmer can draw out the silk from that cocoon. Okay, so that process ends. So that is the cocoon to silk, the journey of cocoon to silk. Okay, so next one is that reeling of silk. What is mean by reeling of silk? Okay, reeling of silk, when the cocoon completely spins. After this process starts, reeling of silk. Once that cocoon is completely covered himself with a thread, reeling of silk. Reeling of silk. What is the reeling of silk? Just I mentioned here. Okay, the process of taking out threads from the cocoon to get silk is called reeling of silk. And this is the most important process in a complete task. Okay, this is the most important stage. Okay, what happens? Suppose after spinning the cocoons, we have not done this process. We have not done reeling. What happens? Okay, the caterpillars tear this cocoon and comes out from that. Once it comes out from that, the cocoon will be broke and will not get the silk. It will completely break. Once it is break, you will not draw. It is very difficult to draw out the silk from it. Okay, or else we will not get the good quality of silk. Okay, so it is very important at this stage when the spins completely covered himself with thread, immediately we start this process, that is the reeling of silk. Okay, this is the most important thing that we should do. Okay, what it means by reeling of silk? Reeling of silk means, okay, the process of taking out threads from the cocoon to get silk. Okay, the process of taking out cocoon to get silk. So how does this process is done? This process is done with the help of boiling water. Okay, there is a huge pan. What happens? They throw that all cocoons into that hot water. Because of heat, the silk or that thread start losing. Okay. Okay, and after that, you can obtain the silk from the cocoon. Okay, once you obtain the cocoon, okay, there is a complete process of silk. Here it ends. Once you throw that cocoon into the boiling water, okay, we get the silk from that. After getting that silk, we can give it different colors. We can give it different texture. Now it's depend on the demand. What is the demand? What kind of silk they want? What kind of color they want? They provide all those things too. So here this process ends. So finally we have a silk. With this process we can obtain the silk, and afterwards we can give any color, texture, and that is depends upon the demand and supply matter. Okay. Now, this silk, how does this silk is invented? Okay, so there is a story behind this. Okay, so I kept this story for the end of this session. Okay, I thought that I should explain whole lesson, and finally I will answer you with this. Okay, so let's have a story. What happened? Actually, the silk is invented in China. Okay, completely discovered in China. You know that Chinese never share their things to others. The same thing happened with the silk. Silk was a secret for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years, Chinese didn't told that there is a silk or there is a worms which produces silk. World was unaware about that. No one knows what is silk. So what happened? Once the king there was a king in China, and that king have he likes flowers and fruits and everything. So he has a huge garden. In that huge garden, there were different types of plants. Okay, but in that plant there were mulberry leaves. Okay, mulberry plant was there. So that king loves his garden, flower, birds and all that. So he always go through the garden. Every day morning he have one means that is a route that was the routine for him. He always go through that garden. So repeatedly he observed one thing. An insect is eating the mulberry leaves. He observed that what is happening. He thought that okay, one day it was there. But when every day he is observing that slowly, an insect is eating mulberry leaves. What is the impact of that? So he called his minister. There is a matter that I want you to share. Minister said, yes sir, what happened? So he said that there is something which is eating the mulberry leaves. So he thought that what is that? So that minister went to observe that. He find out that insect eating the mulberry leaves and is spinning something shining around him. So he came there. There is an insect that he is eating that mulberry leaves, and there is something which is spinning around his body. So he said, okay, we'll see. One day the king is drinking tea in the garden. Okay, he took a sip and kept that cup on the table. Suddenly, something fallen down in his tea. Tea is completely hot. So he observed that when he took out that, there is a thread was separating from that, and the thread was not a normal thread. It is completely shiny and soft, strong. What was the quality of that? It was shiny, strong, and very strong. So he took to the minister. So the minister saw that it is really very soft and all that. So he called all the persons of the palace and he told them, what is that? He said that we can draw out the fabric from it. He said, yes, we will try. So they made the fabric and it was very shiny, soft and very beautiful. So on that day onward they started the rearing of silk. Okay, but they never shared their secret to others. Chinese kept that secret to themselves only, they have not shared to anyone. And that was for hundreds of years. But unfortunately, the traders which were frequently visiting to China, they observed that thing and finally it is introduced to the world. After keeping the secret for hundreds of years, they introduced to the world. And there is again one more thing that I wanted to share. The travelers or the traders which visited to China and they revealed the secret of silk. The path they have chose, that way is called silk route. That route is called silk route. Okay, so this is the way that the silk introduced to the world. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope we have gone through all these processes and all that. Okay, remember the theme, cocoon to silk. Okay, rearing of silk, and how and when did that point I have explained. I will take a quick revision on this point. From cocoon to silk, first of all, farmers have eggs. They keep it in a bamboo tray and provide them warmth and suitable condition. Warmth and suitable condition. After that, the larva hatches from it, and that larva start eating the mulberry leaves. Okay. At the stage comes where the larva stop eating the mulberry leaves, and what he does, he go into the chamber and relax. and after some time he started spinning the cocoon around him, and he completely covered himself that cocoon. So here the processing ends. Afterwards, reeling of silk. The farmers collect all those cocoons and kept into the boiled water and drawn out the thread from the cocoon. So that thread is called the silk. Here this process ends. Okay, so that's it. These points we have learned today. I hope you understood it. You enjoyed this lecture. Okay, if you are in doubt and curious, we will solve it whenever we have a Zoom meeting. I hope you understood it. Thank you. Have a nice day.